Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is November the 5th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day to ya. Hopefully you humped and didn't get humped. Unless that's what you're into, then by all means, go for it. Get it. My day was good. It's been a good day. Despite all of the busyness, the chaotic energy that is peak, I won't say we're getting our footing. I won't say that we're stable yet, but I think we are managing. We're doing our best, and that's all I can be. I'll hang my hat on that. We'll say that. But yeah, let's go ahead and start up top. I actually started off today with a review, performance review for work. And, I sat down with my supervisor, and I am happy to say, drumroll please, we got a good review. It was another banger review. All top marks, all 5s and 4s. Like I said in previous episodes, I really do have a good rapport with my supervisor. I really do appreciate that they appreciate my work and, give me raises that I feel are, accommodating, at least within the merit or the range spectrum, whatever words we want to say here, of my job. Like, yes, would I like to be paying more? Do I think I should be getting paid more? Yes, not just me, everyone in the warehouse. I think everyone in my warehouse is getting underpaid. I don't want to say severely, but it's not good. But hey, they're going to do what they do. It's not about that. It's about me. It's about my review, and it was good. It was nice, and I got a raise, so that's good. I'm always happy to see that go up. And I don't really care how much, to be honest. And I know I should have more self-worth and yada 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 and blah blah blah. But I know I'm just a cog in any machine, no matter where I'm going. And I think something that I've always appreciated about this job, I talk shit. Is that they do give me that consistency. And out of all the jobs I had, like all the retail jobs that I've worked up until this point, getting into the warehouse job that I've been working for now for over 10 years, I never had that. Like, it was one of those things where every once in a blue moon, they would just say, oh yeah, no one's giving you a promotion. That's crazy. There's been no raise. That's wild. Like, well, here's a nickel or maybe a dime. Like, and that would be it. Like, the only way I would get a promotion is if I left the job for another company. And I always hated being in that situation. I always felt like, man, you guys just don't give a shit about me. I'm the most replaceable person, apparently. And everyone really was in those situations, unless you were like management. So it's nice being in a situation where you really are just treated like a normal person. And like, when you get to this point in the year, we're going to sit down with you. And as long as you're being productive, you're doing your job, you're going to see an increase in pay. I think that's a pretty automatic thing. Union, not union, whatever the fuck. That should be what's happening at your job. I think your employer is a piece of shit if they're not doing that for you, right? That's the least they could goddamn do. So yeah, I was really happy to start off the day with that. So that was a good talk up. Then I also found out that we were going to have birthday cake for a treat, because apparently, and I really should have noticed this. I think it's one of those things where it was known to me and I just forget about it. And then every once in a while I just come out and there's ice cream cake or, a piece of cake. And I'm like, ooh, cool, cake. And I just take it. You know what I mean? Like, it's free for me. Awesome. So, that was the layout for the day. Of course, I get to my area, my department, and it is busy. We're packed to the gills with cardboard. So I proceed to get after it. I'm going hard, And, we're marching along. And at some point, I can't remember at what part of the day, I think it was like right before maybe my second break, a lead from another department, who's my homie, they come up to me and they go, hey, I got some pizza and I left it at my desk. You should go get some. And this has been like kind of a running joke between us, because he keeps hyping up like his his area, like his area where he's a lead at, where he sits and does all his little like emails and this and that. I don't know why the word is escaping me. I want to say office, but it's not like it's like a room where other leads and supervisors are different parts of the day. But like I just like I call it El Dorado because it's a place that's very far away. Like I have to literally go like over 2 conveyor belts, walk by what I learned, the spoilers, 2 other departments just to get to this area. And so I'm like, yeah, man, that's just so out of the way. But he's like told me before, he's like, hey, man, if you ever need to shit, because I know you be pooping, like you can go to that bathroom. It's perfect. There's no one there ever. You should use it. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't want to inconvenience anyone. I don't want to get in trouble. Ooh. And like, we just got to keep it moving. But the lure, the enticement of pizza, it had me curious. I was pizza curious. What can I say? It's Donatos. You don't get Donatos every day. So I decided that I was gonna be brave. I was gonna be bold, and I was gonna try to venture to the outer lands, to the outer worlds, so to speak. So I go, and like a little bit later after he tells me this, and I actually like. I don't even get like halfway there, and he sees me, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll just take you. And so, I follow him, and we're walking, and this is where I realized like, oh my God, like I haven't been over here since like before we finished the remodel on the whole other half of the warehouse that we added. Cause essentially that's where the room is. That's where this area is like right before that. So I was like, oh my God, this is a whole department. Like I was like, oh yeah, this is new. He's like, this has been here for a year. I was like, true. Good point. All right. And my favorite fun fact about just this walk alone is I'm walking by and I pass a reach truck operator, equipment operator, and I hear that they have an audiobook playing. And it's not just any audiobook, y'all. My dear listeners, they were listening to Smut. They were listening to Smut out loud, no headphones. I'm just like, this is like a reel. Like I've seen this, and it's a guy at a gas station just blaring shit about butt pussy or something. Like this is crazy. This is so unhinged over here. I was like, bro, this is like the red light district or something. What's going on? And so he shows me the illustrious bathroom. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. And then he proceeds to take me to the office. And this is where it all clicks for me. I actually have been in this room before. It had just been someone else's office, like, department area room or whatever, a year ago. And then they've moved along in the warehouse. They're in a different part. They're in the newer part of the building. And this has just been left to other supervisors and leads to use. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I remember this, man. That's awesome. Cool. I'm glad you guys had that bathroom over there. Look, you got a coffee over there. He's like, yeah, I can literally park and then just walk into the warehouse. I'm already here. I'm like, yeah, that is pretty neat. And then I ate the 2 pieces of pizza, and they were yummy. I think one was, I don't know, it felt like there was like just 2 types of meat lovers. Maybe one was like a pepperoni and sausage. Another one was like, had like ham, pepperoni, and like, I don't know, maybe another meat. I really didn't care. They were like half cold. I did not care. I was just happy. I made it. I made it to El Dorado, the magnificent. I made it to the other half of the warehouse. So that was cool. So 2 W's already. After that, I venture back to my station. We're chilling. We're working. We're grinding. We, of course, fill up the crusher early, and I get out, and that was my work day. So overall, W work day. I suppose I should mention the cake. I got a vanilla chocolate, or not vanilla chocolate, a vanilla slice of cake. It was pretty small, pretty meager, but it did have, obviously, the icing on it. And it had, I don't know what it's called, but almost like the funfetti kind of stuff on it too. So, overall good slice of cake. Could have been a little bigger, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Also worth mentioning, they had a slice of chocolate cake that I could have got. They had several slices of bread, like nice little pieces of bread that you could eat. Little baby slices of that. So, that was the food corner for the day. I'll take it. It beats a 0 treat. You feel me? It's something better than nothing. Once again, if you're not going to give me a goddamn union, at least you could do is give me a goddamn pizza party, which they have been lacking. Okay, but anyway, that's for another day. That's for another fucking episode. Anyway, post work, we go to the gym. It's time to get that workout in. Workout was good. It was solid. I get in. There was a Smith machine waiting for me. We love that. Got on my free weights. We love that. And then I just hit my equipment, hit some cardio, and I was out the door. So yeah, no, W workout. It's W's all around today. We're really just catching all the W's. Um, I get home from work, and then I forgot to mention this up top, but over the past couple days, the person that I have been dog sitting for this year has they have a bench, and then they have a what is it, a gosh, what's the words I'm looking for? The long bar, and then they also have the rack for said bar. And they've been looking to get rid of all their stuff because they don't want it. I guess they want either new equipment or something else, whatever. And they asked me, they're like, "Hey, do you want the bench? Do you want any of the stuff? Like, we'll sell it to you." And I was like, I'm not really looking to buy, but maybe if you're selling it for cheap or whatever, I could be interested. And he essentially said, "Well, I really want to get rid of this bench. I really want to get rid of the rack. Hell, even the bar. I'll just give it to you. I'll just come drop it off." And I was like, "Bet, I'll take it." So he comes through and drops that off, and I was like, "Sweet." So it's not put together yet. I need the tools. I have to do a bit of forge mode, but I think they might be able to just give me the tools that they use because they're handy people. And I'll try to and put that together. Now, granted, do I have any weights? Do I have any plates? No, I do not. But I remember back when I was doing home workouts that I always wanted to have just a little home gym in the other room, that I just never use. It's just empty space. And it would be nice to have that so that, hey, I can get a little extra workout at home, or let's say on the holiday when it's closed, like Thanksgiving or Christmas, I have that option to work out at least a little bit, get a little baby pump, something like that. So we might be on the road to that. So I'm very happy. So let's clap it up. Overall, it's been a good ass motherfucking day. So yes. We needed this. We did. We really did. But yeah, no, overall, really enjoyed myself despite the hectic nature that is peak season. We're making it happen. And, it's onward to Thursday. All right. So yeah, that's been my day. It's been the whole day in the life. Let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news. All right. All right. So, this is more or less just, I'm planning on just having this be an offbeat episode. We only have a few stories that I really wanted to cover. A brief note though, Mamdani Mania is official. We are popping off. Shout out to Zoran Mamdani. I know we talked about that briefly, but the win, it was official. That's a lock. Also, not just Mamdani, it really was a blue wave over last night in terms of the gubernatorial elections, the mayoral elections, even an attorney general in Virginia, I believe by the name of Jay Jones, got on. So, that's a Democrat. Essentially, Republicans are a bit in shambles. They're a bit shocked. Trump was like, hey, this isn't my fault. Don't blame me. I wasn't on the ballot. If I was on the ballot, we would have been winning. And he blamed a lot of this on the shutdown, which also kind of lends to the idea that he thinks, and he's buying the hype, that people think that this shutdown is more or less on Republicans, which I personally would agree with, and I think that is seemingly the rolling sentiment that is kind of growing at this point as people see their healthcare coverage like balloon up, just like Democrats said. When you see all these people, getting furloughed or losing their jobs, and you see the snap shit. Meanwhile, Trump is having a Gatsby theme party. He's got ladies in glasses and stuff. It's crazy. I don't know. It's a bad look, brother. Bad timing. So yeah, I mean, they're trying to kind of shift the perspective, maybe, do some workshop to figure out what they're going to do in the future. I hope that this is an energy that Democrats can hold on to and harness and do something with. I will say my biggest fear is, I think the two biggest takeaways is that there are almost like two path lines that Dems can kind of take to fight, conservatives at this point. One is Mamdani's path, which is essentially saying, hey, I am a socialist Democrat. I'm pushing these progressive policies. I mean them. I intend to implement them. I'm going to, make, my city the best I can make it and give the people the mayor that they deserve. I find that very noble. Do I think that Mamdani is going to be able to make everything fucking happen? No, I don't. But I think that him trying and actually not just giving lip service is going to mean the world to people. And I hope that he is successful on at least some of these policies and some of the things he is trying to enact. I do think, though, on the other side of the conversation, the other path line that I think Dems are thinking about is this midline centrist moderate approach. But really, it is the same playbook as it has been, which is, hey, guys, isn't Trump a piece of shit? Isn't Trump so fucking bad? And like, you're leaning on that and you're pointing out examples, but the thing that I at least like about it is that there is a focus on these like kitchen table issues. You're talking real shit that you want to try to help with people and things of that nature. So there's something to work with in that logic and that line. Cool. And I think that you can make the argument, well, that is more likely to reach people who are in rural areas, who are, maybe not in like these bastions, liberal bastions, like I'm putting that in quotations, by the way, New York or California, whatever. Like, this might be more applicable, palatable for them. So maybe that's the line that Dems choose. I honestly, sadly, unfortunately, think that they are going to choose this centrist line. I think that is more apropos of what they want to do, because truly we noticed in terms of the last election, none of the Democrats that were stepping up to the plate wanted to actually enact any kind of real change. They didn't. They wanted to keep a status quo. Kamala was not trying to really rock the fucking boat, and she got rocked for doing so. You know what I mean? We can blame it on Joe Rogan, we can blame it on this and that and the third, but when you looked at her policies and you looked at the things that she was going to do, it didn't seem that much different from Biden. Didn't seem that much different from anybody else. It seemed like Republican light bullshit. And people don't want that. If they wanted that, they'll go to the source. They'll go to the MAGA movement. They will go to Donald Trump. They will go to Republicans. So, do I think that that's a path line that's actually going to work? I don't know. That'll all depend on how much people will hate Trump come 2026, come 2028. I would much prefer people to say, hey, let's actually push the progressive stuff we were talking about, like, up until 2019, before everyone was calling it woke, and then we couldn't handle the pressure, so we buckled. Let's actually try our fucking best to deliver here and give the people the things that they need, the things that they want. Give them actual universal things that every human should fucking have. I don't know, crazy notion. We have a fucking government that can make that happen. Let's do it. I sadly do not think that Dems are really ready for that. And I think that more or less they're going to probably just try to use a person like Mamdani as a kind of cloak of what we are capable of doing and being, but they don't actually want to really rise to the occasion. But we'll see. We shall see. So there you go. That's a bit of my, election recap, so to speak. A little generalization there. Anyway, let's get into the news that I wanted to cover at hand, but I did want to just mention that. From the Associated Press, 12 dead after engine fell off UPS plane that crashed and exploded in Kentucky. A UPS cargo plane's left wing caught fire and an engine fell off just before it crashed and exploded after takeoff in Kentucky, a federal official said Wednesday, offering the first investigative details about a disaster that killed at least 12 people, including a child. So yeah, this is the story we covered yesterday. We did get at least a couple of, quick updates right off the bat, hearing about, we'd already known about the wing being on fire. Then also there was the engine falling out. That was new to me. I didn't know that until reading that today. I was talking to a coworker actually, and, they had said, another big factor was they had just fueled up the cargo plane. So it was filled with fuel, And that only made things worse in terms of now it catching fire and then plus the explosion. Like, that's why it was such a big blast. So yeah, I mean, Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, had said, casualties are most likely going to be higher than that 3 number, and now we've heard that number go all the way up to now 12. So that's obviously, it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. It's upsetting that the plane did so much damage that it comes back down and it hits buildings and stuff like that. That's how the child winds up dying. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. I've been hearing a lot of coverage on it. Just kind of going throughout my workday, just seeing it on the TV, seeing it on the news. Because I mean, obviously that's part of the tri-state area. So it affects people near and dear to a lot of people around here. So I felt like it was important to at least deliver that update. And we will definitely be coming back to the story if I hear any more about maybe what even caused the engine to fall out. If we get that information, that kind of detail. But yeah, we shall see. I just wanted to at least touch base there. Taking it all the way though to France from Reuters. Driver rams into pedestrians in Western France. 9 injured. A driver rammed into pedestrians and cyclists on France's Oléron Island off its Atlantic coast on Wednesday, injuring several people before being arrested, Interior Minister Laurent Nunez said in a post on X. The 35-year-old suspect shouted Allahu Akbar, Arabic for God is greatest, when arrested by police, the local prosecutor. Arnaud Larraz? We're going to say Arnaud Larraz. I like that name. Sounds fun. Told Sudquest? I'm not familiar, but okay, Sudquest. I'm sorry. I just thought of soap and a soapy adventure. Anyway, Sudquest newspaper. French media said the motive for the attack remained unclear and that the anti-terrorism prosecutor's office was not in charge of the inquiry at this stage. The prosecutor's office cannot immediately be reached for comment. At least 9 people were injured when the suspect's car hit them in various areas of Oléron Island. The mayor of Doulos d'Oléron, Thibault Breckhoff, told BFM TV. Nunez said 2 of the injured were in intensive care. Some French media later said that that was the case for 4 of them. Let's see. The Le Parisien newspaper said investigators were looking into the possibility that the suspect might be mentally disturbed. The man was previously known to police for petty crime, including driving while drunk, as well as drug-related offenses. Local newspaper Charente Libre and other French media reported, citing the mayor Saint-Pierre de Oléron, Christopher Sawyer. Just a bit of sad news coming out of France. But I will say, hey, at least no one has died, at least as of the recording of this. It sounds like it wasn't that, bad in that regard, but it's obviously unfortunate. It's very scary that these are the kind of things that happen. Like, I mean, if it's not a gun thing, if it's not a knife thing, motherfuckers will literally turn their fucking vehicle into a weapon to try to kill. It's just, that's so wild. It's just so upsetting and wild that that is just how this fucking shit goes. I don't know, I just randomly had this thought, and I'm just maybe attempting to add levity and stream of conscious. I wonder back in the day, were people like trying to run over motherfuckers with like stagecoaches? Because that would also be wild. Imagine like someone's just trying to chase you down in a bunch of fucking horses and they have like a buggy. Like, goddamn, that would be the worst Western night of my life. But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we got to go back to America, and we're going to go to the Supreme Court. One of my least favorite places, actually. Oh, man. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have actually been to Washington, D.C. I know, right? Crazy. Guy who hates traveling goes to Washington, D.C. This was like a school field trip thing. I'm sure I've mentioned this on the pod before. It's old news, but it's treaded past. But It was a fun time. It was cool to see monuments and whatnot. It was a school related trip, so I guess that there was a little element of bonding with your peers and whatnot. I think that was also maybe the first time I went on a boat, unrelated, but like we like took a little boat, and then we also in the same day I think went to the place where George Washington lived, his home. That was great. It was cool seeing his home, and then it was not as cool seeing the slaves' quarters because you knew what went down there, and you knew the abuses that people had to endure, and like imagining like George Washington's like illegitimate children and stuff having to live in that kind of situation. It was just a lot to take in. I was like, oh wow, I'm really just seeing and feeling this all at once, and I really just thought I was about to see Abraham Lincoln's balls or something. So, but hey, it was overall a solid time. Let me get to this last break. I'm sorry. We're supposed to talk about fucking SCOTUS. I'm over here talking about scrotum. Oh, I'm gonna take 2 sips actually. Oh, you double dip the chip. All right. Our last story. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I'm remiss. One more thing, Jackie, before we get into our last story. I normally don't bring back an obit, Normally, motherfucker's dead. We put the dirt in that motherfucker. I gotta go back to Dick. I forgot to mention the Dick Cheney story about him literally shooting his friend in the fucking face. That shit was crazy. I remember hearing that story and being like, oh, there's definitely got to be something coming out of this. But then to see like days later, said victim coming out and being like, oh no, actually it was my fault. I should have been paying more attention. I shouldn't have gotten in the way of the bullet. He said some shit like that. And I was like, that's so cooked. He really is so fucking dark-sided, dude. He really this is our Darth Vader incarnate. Oh my gosh, they're calling this motherfucker the most powerful vice president. Like, sure, he set up so that he could be that way, dude. What the fuck? He was a fucking freak. Speaking of freaky, apparently, now this is all rumor, it's all conjecture, it's things I heard on the internet. Okay, I gotta put that there. There's a grain of salt there. Take it. Word on the street is, motherfucker had 8 inches down there. Okay, whoa, that's all I'm saying, and I'm not. That's as X-rated as we're gonna get about that topic. Okay, if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Okay, that's crazy. What? Yeah, apparently he had a bunch of heart attacks and all that kind of shit. Yeah, you rocking that motherfucking thing. Goddamn. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm being crass. I'm being so rude. I'm not respecting the dead. That's a shame. Shame on me, dude. Anyway, from NPR. Supreme Court put Trump tariffs on a high fire grill. I don't like how I said that sentence. I'm going to run it back. Supreme Court put Trump tariffs on a high fire grill in bipartisan scrutiny. President Trump's claim of unilateral power to impose tariffs across the globe hit a wall of skepticism at the Supreme Court on Wednesday. Over the course of an argument that lasted almost 3 hours, both of the court's conservatives and liberals seemed doubtful about the legal authority underpinning Trump's signature economic policy. I really don't want to go through all of this. We're just going to do this Isaiah's way. I'm happy to hear that everyone's kind of in concert that, like, you can't allow a president to have that much power and control. You're completely overriding Congress by doing that. You're knocking this whole thing out and just saying it doesn't matter. You're giving the game away, right? And I think SCOTUS, is aware enough of that, and they're willing to say, okay, we're going to find a way to pump the brakes on this. My question is how much? Also, the follow-up question is, how much is Donald Trump going to respond to that? How much is the Trump administration going to actually then say, okay, we're going to pull back these tariffs? Because at this point, they're going to get to say, hey, we're making so much money off of this. We're not going to turn it off. Okay, we won't do more. We'll change up the style of how we do this, but we're not going to stop. We're not going to take them off. And I don't think anyone's going to fucking make them. But I do agree that just by sidestepping Congress the way that he has, it's giving him too much power. It's giving him way too much fucking control. And I think that there's an argument at some point through here where it's like, well, what if like Trump just goes about it and he has like, he allows, like he sits down with Congress and they give him the power. And essentially, I think Gorsuch or whatever, conservative, is like, no, dude, because if you give them that power, if they give up the power to Trump, no one gets it back. Like, you just give the ball to him and it's his. It's permanently. And I think they kind of don't give a shit about it being Trump or whatever. That's their guy. But if you do this, it becomes a constant. It sets the narrative. It sets the precedent. Precedent? I can never say this word, my dear listeners. I struggle to speak. That's too much, and they don't get it back. So if it goes to another, party, whatever, it's like, oh, well, they just get to keep doing this. And essentially, Congress doesn't matter. And then if they don't matter, well, then how much do you matter? Because once again, you don't have an army. So I think this is just one of those things where they realize Trump is drastically overstepping in a way that is bad for them. It's bad for business. So they're willing to say, yeah, no, you can't do this. But the question is, when they finally come back with their, decision, is how much are they going to try to curtail it? And that is the $1 million question, I guess you could say. Or billions. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's billion. I don't think he could say trillions yet for this little tariff. Is his favorite little word, the most beautiful word. Man. But I mean, y'all know how I feel about this tariff shit. It has been surreal. It's been infuriating to just see the prices of things just go up so drastically. And I've been hearing, this phrase, a lot this week, the death of free trade. And I was like, damn, yeah, I guess you're right. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've been trying to bone up on all this economy stuff. I've been listening to Odd Lots. But no, truly, like, when you try to go about doing this tariff shit, you're taking us back to an older world where it's like, yeah, no, we're going to try to fucking get all the money, squeeze all of this fucking shit. And we're not even going to really try to play ball. It is just hungry hippo. Which technically is what we're doing anyway. But it's just like, that's just becomes such a lopsided thing. We're gonna try to do it to others are gonna try to do it to us. It just becomes a shark fight. It's just nastier work, and we all suffer for it. Nobody fucking gains. I mean, shit, you heard the Reagan clip. I mean, hopefully you heard it. I don't know if you were watching the World Series. Also, random aside, y'all know I don't talk about sports, but let's fucking go, Dodgers. Let's fucking go. Look, am I being a fair weather fan? Yeah. Am I being a fair weather, I guess, pro-America guy? Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, I did not want to see the Blue Jays win. I didn't really care that much. I wouldn't have like lost any sleep if they did, but like, yeah, I want to see fucking Shohei Ohtani get there. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah. So yeah, there's that. There's a little bit of side news there, but I mean, old side news, I guess. That was like fucking last weekend. But yeah, we'll see what the verdict is. That'll come out later. Our decision, I guess that's what we call it. I think they said it at the end. A decision in the case could come more quickly than usual because both sides asked the court to expedite consideration of the case. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe I'm completely off base here, and they allow him enough, power to keep doing what he wants, and he keeps to do more tariffs and have more power to do other things. Because that's another thing too, is that this won't just be a tariff thing. Like as often as it is with any kind of Supreme Court thing, this becomes a spider web, butterfly effect thing that allows, if you allow this thing, you're potentially allowing so many other things. It's like a Pandora's box that you're opening by just giving him this bit of power here in this area, right? So there we go. I can take off my fucking SCOTUS robes. Ugh, yucky. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for today. This is supposed to be a chill, loose fit thing. I've lost my voice. It's past 30 minutes. Like, look, sometimes the Offbeat episodes just kind of go. I don't know what to tell you. I wanted to say hit, but that's crazy for me to say that any of this shit is hitting. Anyway, my dear listeners, thank you so much for listening. I got to do my shill shit now, so bear with me. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to listen to. Whatever. I'll be there. Just tune in. Whatever. Leave a like. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. It can be fun. 5 stars are appreciated on the review section, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, wherever they give you that option. I love that. Give me them stars like on Michelin. But give me 5. I need 5. Or none. You know what I mean? It's just like a GameStop survey. Just please, they're gonna take that back. No, it's just appreciated. It's nice. But if you don't do any of that, it's okay. It's Otay. It's Otani. It's Otani, baby. It's all good. I really just appreciate you just hanging out, allowing me to hang out with you. be on, your headphones, be on your sound device. Maybe I'm on your sound bar right now. I can't remember where I was having this conversation. I think it was last weekend or no. This was at work the other day. I was saying, man, I kind of miss, and this is me being a elder millennial, I guess it's gonna show here. I miss the big sound systems. I miss like going to my friends' houses and they just had big booming like sound systems for like no reason, just so they could play like Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Like, you know what I mean? Just so they could like spin like 6 discs at once. Fuck yeah, man. I missed that era. Even though he was the person was literally selling an Apple sound stereo thing, and it's like you plug in your iPod or whatever, and then you just play music, or your iPhone. It would probably be the iPhone. Yeah. And I'm sure it has Bluetooth connectivity. Like, oh wow, super cool, man. Just can we embrace tradition? My tradition. I don't want to take it all the way back. I don't want to. No, keep your records. I don't need that. All right. Give me some CDs. Give me some big, I don't know, Miramax. Give me that. Give me that. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever the cool stereo systems were back then. I can't remember. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Okay, that's it. I'm sorry, I ran long. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.